Now that they've amassed their wealth, how are they giving back to help others? Additionally, we ask each guest to give our listeners a special gift to help them grow as a person and to influence their business. Welcome to the Roy Snar Show, entrepreneurship and giving back. Now, here's your host, Roy Snar.
Welcome back to the Roy Snar Show. Today, I'm very excited. I have not only a good friend, a mentor, and a business partner. He's going to be coming onto the show today to share his story, his successes, his challenges, and what he's doing to give back. In fact, this is the same gentleman that helped take both of my books #1 on Amazon. He's a global publisher, global speaker. He's got his own show. I want to welcome Michael D. Butler from Beyond Publishing. Michael, thank you so much for coming out.
Great to be here. Congratulations on the show. I'm very excited to be with you.
Awesome.
And what a view. What a studio you've got here.
Yeah, isn't it awesome? That is the capital of Texas. I mean, how much more American and Texas pride can you get?
Well, and the new Silicon Valley right here in Austin.
Oh,
right?
yeah. This place is booming.
You're in the hub of where everybody wants to be and everything's going on. This is where the money is because Roy is here.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Hey, I'm just trying to be in between that money transfers. That's all.
Good. That's good. That's good.
That's awesome. Well, we're very excited to have you on today. And I want the listeners to know about your story, because when we talk about entrepreneurship and giving back, sometimes people think, oh, entrepreneurship is easy. I'm going to hop into it. I'll make $1 million right away. But then they really learn about the struggles, and more importantly, they learn about themselves. So perhaps you could share your story, because people may see you now like, hey, look, this 7-figure man who's built these amazing businesses. Yep. But how did you actually start? What was your inspiration?
Yeah, you're talking about the entrepreneur that wants to quit their 9-to-5, 40-hour-a-week job so they can work for themselves, and they realize they're working 90, 100 hours a week for themselves and not getting any vacation, right? So I started my first business at age 14, growing up on the farm in Oklahoma, and I ran an ad in the newspaper, and I got 15 lawn mowing jobs.
Wow.
I had saved money for a lawnmower and a weed eater. The only thing was I wasn't old enough to drive, so I had to hire a driver to take me to mow those lawns. So entrepreneurship has just been something that's been in my blood my entire life. Yeah. And I think it came from my grandfather.
Oh, okay.
He's the youngest of 9 children, and both of his parents died when he was very young. He only got a 2nd grade education.
Wow.
But I can remember before he passed away in Oklahoma, we're driving in the car in a small town of Wagner, Oklahoma. And he said, Michael, that duplex over there, your grandmother and I own that. And then he turns the corner. This next street, he says, we own that house on the corner and the house across the street from that one. And as we're driving around, I knew he bought the dairy farm and saved his money to buy a dairy farm. But I didn't know he was a real estate mogul. And before he passed away, he's showing me all the houses, all the real estate they had invested in. And so I think entrepreneurship was just kind of in my blood, even though both of my parents went the corporate route and retired after 40 years, got the gold watch and all that stuff. I was never wired that way. I could never sit still in school. I always had ideas for businesses, and it just kind of followed me throughout my life. But as a kid, when I stuttered from ages 5 to 11.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. That's a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge because I'm naturally outgoing, but kids are laughing and making fun of me. So growing up on the farm in Oklahoma, I became an introvert, even though I was naturally outgoing. So I had my dog, I had my brother, and then I had my TV show on the farm where I was producing movies on the farm. We would cut the commercials, I would do the commercials. And between my cows and my brother, I overcame the stuttering. But one life-changing thing that happened at age 11, the librarian gave me a book that was written by an 11-year-old kid. Wow. I don't remember the name of the book. I just remember on the front of that book is a sailboat.
Okay.
And that book taught me how to dream. And I would lay in my pasture with the cows and look up into the sky, and I would see a plane flying over. And I said to myself and I said to my family, one day I'm going to be flying on these planes all over the world, speaking to entrepreneurs everywhere about starting companies. And that's kind of how it happened.
Wow, that's amazing. So your parents didn't hand you like a golden spoon, like here's a business that we built and here you go, son, and here's all this money. You started from nothing all the way up to where you're at now.
Yeah, definitely. My parents bought a farm, and my dad grew up on a dairy farm. He was getting back to his roots, but didn't have any entrepreneurial thing going on in the family, so to speak, other than my grandfather.
Yeah.
And the book that I read by Michael Gerber called The E-Myth. I was a pastor at the time, and I always had this marketing mind because when you're a pastor, you want to grow your church, and you realize it's all about marketing. So you've got to do your outreach, knocking on doors, calling people, and those kinds of things. Business principles will work in any business. If it's a product-driven or a service-driven business, if you've got a good product and you're taking care of your people and you're over-delivering, and it's a good price, particularly if you're doing a consumable product like you're doing with insurance, it just makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's great. So you were a pastor, and then how'd you transition from being a pastor to beyond publishing? That was your first venture, correct?
Yeah, it was my third venture, actually.
Oh.
When my kids were young, they were 10, 8, 6, and 4, and I found myself a single father. And I said, I really need to make more income. There wasn't a lot of money at the time in Oklahoma where I was in the ministry. And I was young, and I said, you know what? I really want to focus on my sons and be there for them. They're now 33, 31, 29, 27.
Wow.
And I got into network marketing because I love the people development aspect of network marketing where you could teach people, help people get on stages. And my big pitch back then, and we did really good in wellness, we did really good in technology, is I said, adopt a nonprofit, write a book, and get on stage. And you know what? We did really well with that. And so that kind of evolved into publishing books because what I realized, a lot of people thought the internet killed publishing, but the fact is readership is up globally, and there's no better way to become a credible expert than to write a book like you've done.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I mean, just to pivot on that a little bit, the two books that we have, the Social Security and Long-Term Care book, they have helped us dramatically in our client base. And now we offer white labeling program for agents and advisors. And then anybody else who wants to become their own author, we have a program for that working with you. And to your point, you adopt a nonprofit, write a book, get on stage.
Get on stage.
The nonprofit is doing something larger than yourself, giving back. And then the book makes you an expert. And who's going to listen to you unless you're an expert? You have to build credibility. What better way to do it than a book?
Yeah, you decide which lane you want to be the expert in, and you want to pick a niche. And niches are always changing. There's a book a few years ago that changed my life called Blue Ocean Strategy. And it's
Love
about
that book.
How to be a category creator, being first to market with an idea. Think about pizza delivery. That idea, people were buying Italian food, and a lot of people thought pizza delivery would kill Italian food. It added several zeros. It grew exponentially. So it's all about creating valuable content for your customers, delivering that content. And you think about this, when somebody wants something, where do they go? They go to Google, right? So when they Google, real estate agent, Austin, Texas, what do they find? When they Google insurance, Georgetown or Austin, what do they find?
Yeah.
Do they find you? Do they find your business? So creating a book doesn't make you rich, but most of my authors that have gotten very rich and on stages have leveraged the book, get more media, get more podcasts, get more speaking events, and it's helped them feel their masterminds. Welcome to the Michael D. Show. I am so glad you're here. This is Giving Tuesday. We've got guests checking in today from around the world, and I hope you're doing well. Please put into the chat where you're watching from and what platform you're watching on, because it is Giving Tuesday today. We are raffling off over $15,000 raffle package that includes a book publishing deal. It includes coaching from Roy Snar. It includes coaching from Julene B. Ryan. It includes some swag all the way from Pakistan. And I'm so excited today because I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. I hope you're grateful for a lot of things. We've got people leaving comments. Pop your comments into the chat wherever you're watching from so I can feature you. And we just got some great guests here. Thursday was Thanksgiving. Friday was Black Friday. Saturday, Small Business Saturday, right? And then for me, that was when my family did Thanksgiving in Oklahoma. So it was great to see my grandson, my kids, my parents, my brother, and everybody so thankful. And I'm telling you, business is exploding. There's a lot of craziness happening in the world today. Here in a minute, we're going to meet Ryan Lewis. He's got a company up in Toronto, Autograph Authentic, and he has set up an entire 1040 store with authentic sports gear. I mean, there's Michael Jordan paraphernalia, Wayne Gretzky jerseys, hockey pucks, all kinds of sports from the NFL to the NBA to the National Hockey League. You're going to be able to leave an auction bid for those. But first, I'm going to kick it off in New York City at NASDAQ, and then we go right straight to a great nonprofit. Grammy is in the house. She's off a media tour yesterday. You're going to be meeting her. She's launching a book with Beyond Publishing. Check it out. Share this page. We got some great guests. Roy Snar is going to be my co-host Roy, how are we doing over in Austin? How is the family? I'm going to unmute you, man. You were eating some breakfast there, and I just thought I'd mute that out. But you're my co-host today.
Yes.
I'm used to seeing you being bald. I'm not used to seeing that swag, but you got
It's cold. I got to wear a sweater now.
It's definitely cold, man. Hey, how was your Thanksgiving, the family, and is Christmas up and ready?
Oh, yeah. Well, I got all the lights up. Like I mentioned last call, it's like Clark Griswold. I mean, it's just I blew my breaker a couple times, had to rewire some things. But, yeah, we got everything rocking and rolling. The kids are all excited. They keep asking when Santa's coming. I'm like, you got another 30 days. You got to wait.
Well, I tell you what, man, we are packing. We are moving over here. You know, the office has outgrown San Antonio, and so we're exploding at the seams. We have boxes all over the office as we speak. I'm looking at some Clark Griswold Christmas lights over here. So if I see you before the big day, you know what I'm getting you this year, buddy. And they're not tangled up. They're all new out of the box, so they're ready to go. I'll loan you a ladder. You've got probably forklifts and ladders and all that good stuff. You don't need any of that from me, but check it out, guys. It's going to be big. It's going to be epic. We're going into the final month of the year, and it's all about your message coming to the world to touch people's lives. Check it out. Changing lives in New York and NASDAQ and beyond. Michael D. Butler, global book publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org. All right. Well, I'm so excited to bring Adina Payton in. I met her at 10X Ladies. She's from Huntsville, Alabama. And you just got off a media tour yesterday, Adina. You founded an organization called Grammy, and you founded that organization off the heels of a very sad event. Your son, Brad Pugh, was shot 16 times by law enforcement as a mental health patient himself that struggled with alcohol. Your story is very sad, and you weren't getting a fair shake from local law enforcement. You started a nonprofit. Now you've been all over the media. You're doing a book that will probably become a movie. Adina, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit about you and why you started this nonprofit.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I really want to connect with the sports memorabilia guy because I bought a Dallas Cowboys Eagles ticket last night. Enough of that. So I have started getting real about, this is sad, I'm in Santa Fe, getting real about mental illness. And I started that because after the fight, where I was trying to get the truth exposed, I realized that first responders are traumatized on a daily basis. And we don't realize they're being put back out on the street over and over and over. And so we try to provide mental health free and privately so that they can go outside the flagpole and get private, fully licensed mental health appointments, and nobody will ever know. Because if they admit that there's a problem, they have to sideline them for a period of time. And then we also advocate for more crisis intervention so that way when it helps the police when they find someone that might be mentally ill to be able to bring in other resources so that we'll bring in the subject matter people in a crisis instead of putting them in danger and the mentally ill person.
Wow. That's just powerful. And I want to be sure I get your website right. Do I have GrammyUS.com? Is that correct?
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
This is old school advertisement.
I love that.
Yeah, we did this morning because I'm house sitting right now.
Grammus.org. Wow, that's very powerful. You know, I love the logo. Tell me the story behind this dragonfly logo you've created. Grammus.org. We got you. And Graham at Grammus.org. You might be stuck in the matrix, and if you are, that's okay because we got your website up. We've got it correct. It stands for Getting Real About Mental Illness. And like she said, she's house sitting in Santa Fe. So we're going to bring her back in a bit once she is back and live. Hey, I want to kick it over to Ryan for a second. Now, Ryan, super excited about Autograph Authentic. I know you've got a link for us. You've actually built out a 1040 page that I'm going to share. let's go ahead and unmute you and tell us a little bit about what you're doing for 1040 Impact. I know this is probably your biggest day of the year. This is like your Black Friday. And tell me about this business you've started, because you're just taking Canada and the U.S. by storm with Autograph Authentic. I'm going to unmute you, sir. There we go. Let's try that again. Unmute. Unmute you. Should be a little button there. I tell you, we'll give you a second. We may come back to you, or we may just bring Adina back in, because, hey, Adina, you froze for a minute, but I'm glad you came back. Is there any snow on the ground in Santa Fe?
There's still a little bit of snow, but it's almost gone.
I got to tell you, about 5 years ago, my dad, my uncle, and my two uncles and my dad and I met in Santa Fe, and we got 11 inches of fresh powder at Angel Fire. And I got to tell you, it was the best snow skiing we ever did. It was right before it's like a year or two before my uncle passed away. But I got to tell you, that picture, those photographs we got coming down the mountain in that white powder, nothing like it. You know, Grammy, Adina, a lot of people would have just folded up their cards, gone home, sat on the beach, and retired. After what happened to your son getting shot 16 times, you said, hey, there's a bigger problem here. It's not about me. It's about these first responders that don't have the resource to deal with their PTSD. Give us a little picture of what you're doing and the resources and everything they're going to find on your website.
Well, what we're doing, the biggest problem is kind of changing the culture and getting first responders to trust that it is a private process. So what we're doing is we are, as they go to mental health, we're paying that bill. And then we are sending deputy sheriffs and law enforcement to international training on crisis intervention. We've been able to do that in the first year, which has been phenomenal.
Outstanding. Outstanding. Tell me a little bit about the radio interview that we hooked you up yesterday. I think 5 or 6 Fox News regional and national radio interviews for people's drive times. You got to be in a lot of cars yesterday with your voice. What did you share with them?
Well, it was the article was on teens and young adults. And so I was able to tie that into the fact that we all really have some type of something going on, depression, anxiety, and the importance of connection and making sure, people say that suicide rates spike. They actually don't spike during holidays, but just looking around and getting out of yourself, because I get pretty selfish. As long as, I'm okay now, I'm doing well. Look around at the people that might not be doing well and you don't recognize it because it's still the stigma of admitting that you're having a rough time.
Outstanding. Well, I think your message is really going to resonate with a lot of people. You're flying into Dallas to speak on our stage next week and to be in our studio. You're going to be on the Jeff Crilly show. You're going to be on the Michael D show in studio, not just virtual. I know you're headed to the airport in a little bit, but hopefully you can stick around for a minute, because we're going to get news on the ground in a minute from Asia, from Pakistan. We got Fazil John in the U.S. We'll call him my dear friend and colleague in what we're doing at 1040 Impact. He leads the ground troops over there and our 4 safe houses. Let's see if we can get Toronto back in. Ryan, I think we can hear you now.
You hear me now?
We can hear you now.
There we go.
So excited. I know this is like your busiest day of the year and you can't stay long, but I'm going to be popping in the link and just tell us a little bit about what you do, sir.
Okay, yeah, busy, very busy time of year. Although we're in Canada, we have the same shopping craze with the Black Friday week and Thanksgiving and holiday shopping. So it's super busy. But as Michael said, I'll make some time to get on this. Now I'm getting a feedback, huh?
I got you. Go ahead, brother.
We're okay?
Go ahead.
A little bit. We do Autograph Authentic's actually been around 33 years. We established ourselves back early 90s when people weren't doing autograph signings. It was really rare to have hockey celebrities or baseball celebrities doing public signings. Toronto Blue Jays won the World Series. We ran a lot of signings working with the Blue Jays. I was a little kid. My uncle started the business as a teenager, driving around World Series baseball champions and heroes. It was super cool. We evolved over the years. I can give you a long story, but we evolved over the years, changing with the times, from autograph signings to running card shows to bringing celebrities to trade shows to we coined and created the sports memorabilia turnkey auction, which you'll see at hockey arenas, baseball arenas, football teams across North America. We invented it. In my early 20s, I introduced it to professional sports through the Calgary Flames auctions. It was the first time there'd been a sport memorabilia auction at a professional sports game, and now they're all over the place. The NHL said thanks and kind of copied us, but I still supply a lot of the teams, so it's great. We've migrated into all sorts of things. I've got an IT coding background, so we do multiple things. We do a lot of our programs are charity based. Michael, we met through networking groups and whatnot and ended up here. And you presented.
Hey, Ryan, I've got the page pulled up. I want to be sure that everybody can see this. I'm just kind of scrolling through. Can you see my screen?
We can see it.
So here I've got the Wayne Gretzky signed throwback jersey, Mitchell and Ness from 92-93 LA Kings.
Right.
My goodness, there haven't been any bids on this yet. I would say you could go bid on this right now. You could go bid on the Tom Brady framed canvas NFL legend as a Patriot and a Buccaneer. And it's going to go to the highest bidder. And I'm super excited. This is not going to stay up long. This one here too, this print, Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. These are basketball legends. I'm actually going to get this for my new office. Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, unless I get outbid. I mean, there are just so many world famous sports heroes, music memorabilia. You got the Stanley Cup. You even got limited edition Spider-Man comics. You got the Eric Lindros signed puck of the Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, it's incredible. I put the link in the chat. I'm going to share it on the public link as well.
Yep.
I mean, you're doing this for nonprofits all over the world. What's been the biggest? Yeah, Adina saw Jalen Hurts. I know she's going to go bid on that. So you guys let the bidding begin, and it's going to end soon. So you better go pop some bids in there. You're not charged unless you get the top bid, which is what you want anyway. That means you get the memorabilia delivered to your house. 1040 Impact gets a generous donation, and Ryan gets a cut to cover his costs. That's basically how it works, right, Ryan?
Correct. As a guy, I do a lot of microphone events where I'm at events on the microphone. Like I always say, it's great to donate money or something. This is what you're doing here. You're getting to get an investment item or something that's like really cool for a fan or a gift for a family or a friend, and you're making a donation or raising money at the same time. So it's win-win-win across the board. We do a lot of nonprofits, work with a lot of charities. We're also a business. I employ almost 20 people, so it also keeps 20 people employed up here in Canada and Toronto. So it's win-win-win across the board with the programs that we do. And as I said, a lot of them are charity fundraising based. We've raised since our inception probably well over $2 million, on our way to $3 million for charities and fundraisers.
Really cool.
Program I do here, Heart and Stroke Canada across the country. We're approaching $250,000 with them since 2016. This is a program we do with the Heart and Stroke. We did a nice golf tournament back in August for the abused women's shelter, and we raised for them like $1,500 in half an hour on a microphone through an auction. So a lot of the stuff we do is really great. And as I said, it's win-win-win. You're a Tom Brady fan, you get an awesome collectible Tom Brady jersey. We've sold these up to $10,000 and $12,000. I think it's $4,000, $4,500 opening bid. You get an investment piece, a collectible, and raise some money for a very important charity. So it's like win-win-win, our programs.
That's really cool.
Outstanding. Roy, you see some things there you want to bid on? I'm telling you, I'm going to be sharing this in the follow-up email today with the entire mailing list because the feedback's been really incredible. What's your most popular, and it might be different in the US than it is in Canada, what's your most popular piece?
So a couple of the most popular, you scroll by it on your page there. The Jordan Kobe have sold over 1,000 of those since I put that piece together.
Okay, I'm going to share again. Okay, let me share again.
The Brady, the Brady from his two teams. This one does really well. This one as well, where that's our art. We put that together. We took Brady from both his teams when he retired the first time. Then we released it again when he retired the second time.
Nice.
The Jordan Brady we sold a ton of. The Bobby Orr flying through the air, the Boston overtime Stanley Cup goal. That's probably the most sold. There is that one there. Bobby Orr, the goal. It's probably the most.
You do more of those in Canada than you do the U.S. Although the U.S. is really starting to take a liking to hockey, right?
It is Boston. We send a lot to East Coast US. East Coast US likes hockey as much as Canada. It's the original 6 teams are from there. But this is the most sold image in hockey, period.
It's Bobby Orr.
This Bobby Orr, this image exactly. And I work really close with Bobby Orr. I'm actually trying to negotiate the sale of the stick that he scored that goal with from his personal collection.
Wow.
We have a couple,
that's really cool. So I clicked on this. I clicked
Yeah.
on this right now. The highest bid is $44. So what you do is you come in here. Notice how it's branded. He's got all this stuff branded with our 1040 Impact logo, and you click on place the bid. This is perfect for, I mean, if you've got teenagers, if you've got a spouse that's really a sports fanatic, this is perfect time of the year. I mean, imagine if your kid's a hockey fan and you get them one of these hockey pucks collectibles, or, I mean, my grandson's really into Spidey, man. I asked him, though, he wants PJs. I said, have you outgrown Spidey, man? And he's 11. He's not sure he wants to let go of Spider-Man, but I'm telling you.
My son loves Spider-Man.
Great stuff here. You got something for music fans, Marvel Comics, more Brady, more Bobby Orr. I'm telling you, Ryan, this is epic. I know this is your busy. You're like Santa Claus flying all over the globe today, delivering presents. So I appreciate you for popping in. And guys, this is just one other way that you can support 1040 Impact. You can share this link with your mailing list and put it out. It'll add a lot of value to what you're doing when they see there's a nonprofit side to your core business, to your for-profit. Roy and I are going to dive into that because he's really figured out how to monetize and do celebrity branding and positioning with the nonprofit. So,
Ryan, I'm going to post the link here as well. I've got a short link, which is a prettier link there, the AA Bid Now link. I just post that there. That's kind of a nicer one for advertising.
Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate that. We will share. Oh, there you go. It's got the 1040 logo, so we'll just copy that.
I think, Adina, you asked when does bidding close? It closes this evening, the 30th at midnight. It closes.
That's what I was going to ask. I was going to ask if we get it extended till Friday because that'll give us a chance to do some email blasts and everything. And
okay, we'll extend it till Friday at midnight. I'll get it extended.
That's East Coast time, so don't be late. Don't hesitate.
No, we think we did Central time.
Okay,
that's what it was. It was Central time. Yeah.
Roy, what do you think? What do you think, man? Is that pretty cool? This is surprising.
I think it's awesome. I mean, there's so many sports fans out there, and it's just a really cool collection that you have. Do you have anything on the Beatles by chance?
We do a Beatles piece, not signed, of course. I know someone holding autographed Beatles. I know someone holding autographed Beatles piece is very expensive. I'll add a Beatles item to it when I do the extension. I'll put a Beatles.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I mean, my father-in-law, my outlaw, I call him. He loves the Beatles. In fact, we did a 24-hour road trip when my wife and I first got married. If you want to get to know your parents-in-law, you rent a motorhome for 24 hours and do a road trip. That's what we did. And the entire time we heard nothing but the Beatles. I heard every single song by them probably 3 or 4 times. So
that's a lot of Beatles.
Yeah, I'm burnt out on Beatles, but he likes them. So I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to get him a nice.
It's hard to shop for people that age, so that's a great idea.
Yeah. And plus it's going for the good cause too. That's what's really neat about it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really glad you're here today. You're watching the Michael D Show. This is our Tuesday morning. Michael D Show. Live with Michael D, faith, family, business, and culture, where we interview amazing guests from around the globe. We do have our team from Pakistan here today. We're going to be checking in with them, getting an update of what's going on the ground in Asia, because I got to tell you, it's been an epic year. It started out, we had 328 girls we were caring for on a daily basis. That's grown to 394. Thanks to people like Roy. Hey, Roy, why is giving back such a big part of your life and your business? You run a high-end insurance agency. You're the #1 long-term care agent in Texas, #3 in the nation. Why is it such a big part of what you do?
Well, I come from very humble beginnings, right? And we're never able as kids to really grow up and give back and donate and do stuff. We just kind of like a middle income family, but it was pretty much paycheck to paycheck. And then we lost everything. And so after investing into the business and scaling and growing it, I wanted to do something that's very impactful and also have our team be a part of something that's larger than ourselves. And then the way we do that is to donate back, like with 1040 Impact and the Superhero Kids and other charities that we're being involved in, and just to be able to say, hey, look, we're able to take some of our revenue, some of our profits, and give it to somebody that can benefit dramatically from it. I mean, it makes you think a lot differently as well. Like even myself, when I go to purchase new items for myself here, like if I'm on Amazon or if I want to buy a new like rifle or something, I think about the price, then I think about how many kids that can save over in Pakistan. I'm like, geez, do I really need that? Wouldn't it be better to like help save a few lives versus buying this? And so it's a really fun and rewarding feeling. It just makes you feel good. And it's all about giving back to the world. And that's the way that we're doing it. And even with our agency, we don't charge clients fees. We give free consultations, which is much different than a lot of firms. And so that's another way that we give back to the consumers here in the U.S.
Outstanding. Well, we're really glad you're here, and I appreciate you for co-hosting today. We're going to hear from the team on the ground in Asia next. But first, a little glimpse into a great year in Pakistan this year. You've helped us make a difference at 1040 Impact.
Asia is they're doing. Pastor Julie, executive pastor of Movement Church in San Marcos, and I just want to tell you about an amazing experience I had last year traveling to Asia with 1040 Impact. Now, the job that they're doing in Asia is they're doing so many different things. They're planting churches, they're taking care of people, they're rescuing children and women out of horrendous situations. But here's the thing that really impacted me. They're not just in the business of rescuing, they're in the business of restoring. And time I get to tell a million stories of kids and young women who have been rescued out of these situations, but then more importantly, they're made safe, they're being cared for, and then there's a resurrection of the dreams that have been in their heart since the time that they were young. 1040 Impact is in the business of expanding God's kingdom. They're rescuing people, they're restoring dreams, they're restoring people to their God-inspired destinies. I cannot recommend them enough. So right now, there's 60 more kids coming in that they want to be able to take care of. They're already taking care of over 180 children. So they're doing an incredible work. So pray about partnering with them. This is definitely a work we want to invest in. So I want to encourage you, partner with 1040 Impact, and let's continue restoring dreams.
Yeah, there we go. That video was made by a loan. There we go. This one right here. I'm looking for the right video as Pastor John comes back on.
You've lost a lot of weight since that video, Michael.
Thank you. I've been eating my own cooking.
There you go.
So yeah, very excited. We're going to bring Pastor John in, and man, just some amazing things happening. And you probably heard Pastor Julie say, and she'll be on in a few minutes. She was our first board member, and when she did that video testimonial, we had 180 kids we were caring for on a daily basis. So that was about a year ago, and now we're at 328. So really appreciate her. And let's get a report from the ground. Pastor John, let's see if we can unmute you, sir. How are you today? Good evening. Unmute yourself there, please, sir. All right. Well, we'll try to bring him back in. He's going to give us a report on the ground, what's been going on, what is currently going on the last few months in all 4 safe houses, and give us an update on the education of the children, how they're growing, ages 6 to 17, an update on our staff, an update on the security, an update on the building report, the building that we back in February that will be paid off next July, that gives us a long-term permanent home, and how we can expand on this building, level 2 and level 3. In fact, I've got a video queued up here. I'm going to show you so you can get a glimpse. I think it's this video here. You'll get a glimpse. It says 328 kids, but we're at 394, and you'll see a shot, some of the before and after.
We're so excited. We're finally moving into our new
school/safe house in Sahiwal, Pakistan. And it's all because of your generous support and giving. You know, daily we're caring for 328 kids that we've rescued from human trafficking and that have been orphaned over the last 7 years. And you know what? It's all because of your help. We've really grown. We've expanded. Right now we've been bursting at the seams and been 90% capacity. But fortunately, we're able, by the grace of God, to purchase the school, to purchase the building, and we'll be able to move 45 kids from our safe house in Lahore into our safe house/school in central Pakistan. It's such a blessing. We'll have it fully paid off within 15 months, and I want to ask you to consider giving, consider making a donation, and consider helping us for the next several months until we get it fully paid off. We still have some renovations and things to do. We need to put in a water system. We need to put in some ceiling fans, but we're going to be able to expand and build out the second and third floors. So check out the before and after photos. I think you'll love it. And thank you once again. All right, Pastor John, that gets me excited. If you can unmute, brother, we want to hear from you. And we'll go to Ilona next. Ilona, if you can tell us, you've been watching us in Pakistan for a while. You've been a part of this. In fact, several of those videos you've edited and put together. How are you doing today up in Minnesota? How's the family? Good to have you. Thanks for joining us. That one is muted. See if you can either unmute that one or talk through the other one, please. All right. We'll try to hear you. We can't hear you right now. So, wow. Because we do want to hear from you and John. So, hey, we're going to be around. We got your comment. Yes, indeed. In fact, last time I was in Pakistan, I was texting you some of the footage saying you need to be here next time. You had a very rough life growing up in Georgia. You went through a lot of things with your family during the war, and you're a survivor. So we're going to hear from you. There he is. Brother John, how are you doing today, sir?
I'm good, sir. Good morning and greetings from Pakistan. Saying salam.
Salam and shukriya.
Yes.
And salam.
So first of all, I want to say some sorry because due to some internet problem. So it's just get online back again. It's working through the phone. Yes, that was not working in my laptop, but it's good to be here. Yes, sir.
Well, it's 9:30 p.m. in Sahiwal, and
yes,
we keep your identity pretty sealed. So for some, this is the first time they've seen you. They've heard me talk about the team in Pakistan, our 25 full-time staff. Give us an idea what your day-to-day is like. What's it like for the kids? What's it like for the staff? But also the overview, I might say, in Pakistan, because it's 99% Muslim. It's a very different place. Christians are primarily persecuted, not allowed to go to college, not allowed to get a government job, be a street sweeper, or start their own business, or go into prostitution, or work in the brick kiln factory. And I first met you 7 years ago. You began to reach out to me on Facebook after the Joseph Colony fire and said, we have 55 orphans. Their parents have died from this fire. Can you help us feed them? So I flew over there. I met you. We began helping, and then later started the nonprofit. Bring us up to speed. How are you doing, sir? It's been a busy year. Yes.
Yes, it's good to be over here. And first of all, want to again so thankful all of you to be here. You make a way for me to join over here, so share with you what we doing over here behalf of the 1040 Impact Event, brother Michael and the whole team. The God using us, even myself from 2004, before me with brother Michael, there we was working starting in over in Pakistan ground for the slave persecuted in and we was a mission organization that was called UCO, who I was running and be like as an overseer, like a CEO and a mission director for them. But right now, just not want to go back again and so far, just want to letting you know that from a couple of years past here, what we doing. The God is doing a very great and impact things over in Pakistan from the time we starting to run under the banner of 1040 Impact in Pakistan. First, I want to let you know we have right now the safe house. There, it's look like that is the house of the blessing. Like there, we reaching the house of destiny. We say that. There we have 394 girls, include boys, who free from trafficker, who free from sex trafficking, brothel district. Even that there is a 54 girl as well who was rescued by the Afghan by the border. Even that when U.S. was withdraw from Afghanistan was attack over there, the girls who lost their families in suicide bomb attack on airport on that time. And this is a very that was so very horrible moments for us when we reach over there and make a planning together with our team. And there, even that, not just even that, some officially team was involved in this case together with some people who was working between some border Afghan to Pakistan and all, who we make away then because this is our goal.
Let me do this. Is I'm going to kind of interpret a little bit, because if somebody's not hearing you on a daily basis, sometimes Americans get stuck in our culture and we don't listen or know how to understand. But I'll just let everybody know this watching the work over there. 4 safe houses in Pakistan, caring for 394 girls on a daily basis, ages 6 to 16. John, I know it's very important for you and for our board and our team that the girls be educated. They're getting a biblically based education on who they are in Christ, and they're learning the Word of God and the Scriptures, but also they're getting English, math, reading, and tell us a little bit about the teachers you have in the schools and what kind of education they're getting. But then also, as the girls begin to age out, we've sponsored girls into cosmetology school, and the plan is so they don't have to go back into trafficking, they are able to support themselves. Speak to that a little bit.
Yes, that was a very great things happening when we rescued them and moved them and we starting them. Even that, first of all, want to little share with you a bit about the girls who was rescued from Afghan. Even that she was converted and she was unable to speak our native language in Urdu. Even that she was come from another part and she was don't know about what we talking and what she listening and all. Then God make a way. Then we hiring our team who see all counseling them together with them, and we starting them to move here, let them know about our culture in Pakistan and what we're doing. But that was a great goal and things when God changed their lives. Even that she was converting Christ, and we reached them and bring them all the 54 to 5 girls who was rescued from Afghan, and she was converted Christian. Even that she was belonged to the Muslim family, and we giving them the water of the baptism. Even that in the time when we were spending a time 24/7, she was starting when we were praying, lay our hand together with our team to all of them, rest of the girls in safe house in Lahore. Then she starting praying, and she was done in a hurry. She starting praying in a tongue. The Holy Spirit touched their lives, and she speak the word of God. And right now, God's working through them and changing their lives. They'll be providing them the Bible, the physically and the formal education or spiritual education. Our 24/7, our team all the time over there who taking care of them and let them know the changing their lives. This is the great things, what God's working through them. Right now, it is so much hard to living in Pakistan, even that there is a 99% of Muslims and our law against even that we cannot go. If we can see the time, what's going on between Palestine and Israel. I cannot speak publicly in a rights for the Israel. But we know that if we'll speak, then we will be going to jail. But we know
Let me ask you,
the God.
John,
Yes, sir.
let me ask you a question. Two things on that. As you're sharing here, have you noticed a change in the with the anti-Israeli sentiment since the Hamas war has started? Has it been more difficult for Christians in Pakistan?
Yes, but yes, it is so much difficult because as God starting working them, even the more than 2,000 people who starting see the dreams to change their life, and God starting calling them their live in a Palestine and a Hamas and all. But even that, it is so much hard. Even the people, just even the last yesterday, a few days ago, I was saw the videos. There was put it in the washroom. They was put to make the flag of Israel. They was doing something very bad and horrible things to the flag of Israel, putting them a flag in a washroom and doing some dirty things like that. Even that was happening in Pakistan. Even that they starting make the flag of Israel in the road on in my area, and they was running a ride bike against to them because they was just insult to the flag and the people over there. But we cannot say anything also. So because if we say that, then they will be put to the case like a fake case on us, like against the blasphemy law and all. This is the happening. This is the same thing happening. If we can go in a 16 August, there was a mob attack on Christians in Pakistan. There was a 394 home that was burned and that was bulldozed and destroyed. And around that 28 to 26 churches at a time a day that was a burnt alive by the mob attack, who was a Butte man, who was come from Afghan, look like the Taliban also. And this is the happening. Then really, it is so much hard to be to share but the gospel of God. But we know that because if we belong to Christ and he gave his life for our sins, and we all the time ready for give our life to him as well and for his word. That's why he's standing us, and because we call by him. We not chosen myself, he choose to us. This is the word of God. He speak to us as well. He choose to us serve for him. And thanks so much today, all the 1014 and the national team in Pakistan, living across the over in Pakistan and changing life by the word of God on natural and supernatural way, and changing life by the 395 girls in Kudwai who rescued from a traffic on a brothel sex industries, rescued from Afghan and move over here, and giving them the education and spiritual education program. And they making their life day to day with the big goals and reaching their soul to serve for God and be like a good citizen, be a big Christians and good Christians in Pakistan. Amen.
All right. Well, we're so glad you're here, and we're really proud of the work you're doing. I know it's almost 10 p.m. in Pakistan right now, and you work tirelessly ensuring these kids are taken care of and that the staff has what they need. Here in a minute, we're going to do a raffle, and we're giving away $15,000 worth of goodies today. We're giving away a Roy Snar coaching. Royce, you want to coach with Roy Snar and talk about money? Julian B. Ryan is giving away a coaching session with her today, as well as her book. And we're giving away an entire publishing package worth $14,000. And you can get in on the raffle by donating at givebutter.com/1040. And then when you share it on social media, every $10 equals one raffle ticket. And then when you share it on social media in the comment here, I will reshare it, and then it will get doubled. We're using randomly today to pick our winners. By the end, we've got another hour and 15 minutes. You're watching the Michael D Show. I'm your host. It is Giving Tuesday, and you can donate at givebutter.com/1040. You're hearing from John, Pastor John in Pakistan, where he oversees the work there. Now, I want to talk briefly, John, about your brother who heads up the church planting mission. You guys have planted 220 churches there. I think that's the only real way we're going to make a difference there, is to change people's hearts and them coming to the light of the gospel. But talk to me a little bit about that, but then tell us a little bit about what's coming up for Christmas, because if you go to givebutter.com/1040, you will see we're at about 3/4 of our goal. And we need to hit 10,000. We need to hit 10,000 this week, and right now we're at 72 100. So tell us a little bit about, John, what are they going to get? What are you getting for these 394 kids and your 25 staff in Pakistan for Christmas?
All right. So it is first of all want to say all of the team and the partners who the friends or family who donated us to make their life change and make the Christmas special. Even that the girls who starting to come in a house of destiny that's under the banner of 1014 back. She's all was living like a hell life. You know that you can imagine what the pigeon look like if they have that if they have a hang and look like in a cell in a jail and like that that what will be happening if suddenly we free them. That will be sing, that will be joy of song when we sparrow out of that slavery. And this is the happening we saw our girls in Pakistan. So right now in this year we are planning to bring a really the beautiful the clothes for them who have not celebrate before, who have not wear before, and we plan it giving them the gifts like a toys, and then also providing them the meal special on a Christmas day, so they can have the get together, celebrate a great time together with the rest of their families, the girls living like our families in a different safe house in a 4 location in Pakistan. And also there we also planning to giving some the Christmas gift from the behalf of the 1014 Impact, all our team member who taking care on a different locations in Lahore, provision in Punjab, in Sahiwal, in Multan, in capital of in Pakistan, Islamabad, who all that working like as volunteers as well and giving their life. Even that many was at the start and get the marriage and also, but they serving themselves to living together and take care of the children. And also want to let you know, I am over here at the twist time a week. I travel in a Lahore, Multan, Islamabad, or in a Sahiwal. There I team. Then I come together with my wife, sometime together with my rest of team. There I meet with the children and can meet them. And there we watching them through the security cameras we installed a month ago after the attack on in a mob attack in a Christian village in a city that called Jarawala. It's around 1 hour and 30 minutes far from my city. There was attack on a Christian. All right. And this is the family, brother Michael, showing to you. This is the family who rescued. She was belonged to the Hindus family, and she was raped, and she was forced to slave with the 15 to 20 men every day also. And but God changed her life, and my team will go over there, and her husband will sold her to the people because get the money in the debit and all, because he was unable to pay him back. And but when she unable to pay back the money to some people as a landlord over there who was a Muslims, but then he sold his wife and children to the people over there who was who was forced and spend a time look like and raped them at least a time, even that spend a time with the different people, and he was forced to sleep over there. And again God make a way there, we reach her and we call her and we bring her and her single mother to our safe house in Sahiwal. There she living a freedom life, who she also the part and right a team who taking care of the rest of the children in a safe house in Sahiwal together with her own children. And she's also so thankful for God because she was belong to the Hindu religion, but right now she's come in Christ. She gave her life to Jesus as well. Yes.
Outstanding. Well, I'm just showing some clips here, and I was hoping to find a family clip where we rescued the most recent rescue that we did that put us at 394. So you'll see a couple numbers here depending on when we made the video. This video was made back in February, and we had 328 girls we were helping had rescued and caring for on a daily basis. Now we're at 394. When you go to givebutter.com/1040, we're currently at $7,200, and we're hoping by the end of the day, or at least by the end of the week, at the very latest, to hit our $10,000 goal. You can help us make that happen. So you can share on social media. You can scan the QR code. This is our very first Giving Tuesday, and we're giving away a bundle. And what's included in the bundle, I know Ilona's got something to give away in the bundle. And in a little bit at the top of the hour, we're going to interview Julianne. But Ilona, let's try to bring you on again. Thank you, Pastor John, for sharing and letting us know how the work is going over there. And I was sharing earlier before you came on that we were able to, since you had that uprising and persecution in August, we wanted all 4 of the safe houses to have new security cameras installed, more lights, more deadbolt locks, and even some full-time security. This is our location, our main location. There's a 1 acre lot, and it might look pretty desolate to you, but the beautiful thing and the strategic thing about this property that we've purchased is it's actually our land. So since it's our land, it's a deeded piece of property to 1040 impact, and it will be paid off by next July, and that will free up more cash flow for us. But I want you to look at the before and after pictures here. Before John and his team got in here, it was just brick, and it had running water and electricity, but nothing else. There was nothing on the walls. And now we have 4 classrooms in here. We actually did a pastors conference in here last week. I spoke to pastors from all across the country, and we're doing monthly discipleship training and church planting for them. And I'll be going back soon, and I'm excited about that. Very excited about what's happening here. And these kids' lives are just changed. When you see 54 girls who were sold by their parents when the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan because they were so desperate, they were sold to human traffickers. And fortunately, John and his team were able to intercept them, purchase them. First 27 girls for $200, and then a week later, the price had dropped to $100 each. And their parents didn't know where they were going. They just knew they were getting away from the Taliban in Afghanistan. And fortunately for them, they were rescued by us, and we were giving them the medical care and the support that they need, and the education and the love that they need. So, Ilona, I want to hear from you if we're able to, because you've been watching us for a long time, and you're in Minnesota. You're a best-selling author. You've got like 12 or 15 books out that you've published, many of those with Beyond Publishing. You're a multi-time 10X speaker. Your daughter, I think, is getting on her 2nd or 3rd TED stage on her birthday in December. So congratulations. You're an immigrant from Georgia. You're part of Powerful Female Immigrants. Let's see if we can hear you, Ilona Paranikova. Good to see you. Let me see if we can hear you. Oh, my goodness. We want to hear you, Ilona. I don't know what needs to happen. Maybe you need to leave and come back in. I'll bring you back in. Let's see if I've got both of your personas on the stage. Oh, I need to add that persona to the stage. Give it a try now.
All right. Now you can hear me, right?
We can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right, that's awesome. First of all, welcome to all of you guys. So you can carve this time to be with us in this special, Giving Tuesday. Thank you so much, Michael, for being part of these things. And you're doing a phenomenal job. I am absolutely blown away. When I teach at schools, the first thing I usually remind how blessed they are by sharing the stories from what you are doing in Pakistan with every family and every child in there. Being immigrant myself, I can tell this. I was rescued after the fall of the Soviet Union during the Civil War by American missionaries. And it didn't start there or didn't stop there as well. My great-grandparents have been also rescued during the Armenian genocide during the World War I, after their parents have been beheaded right in front of their eyes by the Ottoman Empire soldiers. There were 9, 5, and he lost 2-year-old brother. Americans are always in the front line to help others. And that's why my heart is there for Americans, it's just the more you give, the more you get. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm a big part and contributor to this country. As an immigrant, we are so blessed to be in this country. This country is my home right now. And I want to really not to forget my roots, where I came from, because that fuels me to be where I want to go and lead me where I am. I also encourage, and I have coached over 1,000 TEDx speakers on the stage, and they have 2 they're grateful for, and they're motivated. It's their hunger, their pain, and their purpose. If you don't have your pain and you don't have a purpose, there's no way you can get there where they are. And with this phenomenal ministry that you are doing, Michael, with John, you guys have pain and you have a purpose. And I cannot wait, to be honest with you, to visit the Pakistani next year with you and just to hug these little angels. Yes, it was very amazing to speak to them, to bring the message of gospel, to bring the message of hope and love to these little angels, honestly. But just to be there and physically touch them and hug them and let them know, hey, God loves you.
You have spoken to them via Zoom or Skype more than once, you know, rising up very early, 3, 4, 5 in the morning so you could speak to them. And what was your impression of these young women ages 6 to 17 as you're speaking to them about your story? Because your life was not like growing up in America and sitting on the sofa and going to soccer games. It was, you were hungry, you were living in wartime, and you were climbing into the trees to find food and to hide. And a lot of people don't realize this tenacity that you have. It's there because you had to go through hardships. You endured a couple of surgeries without anesthesia. And you talk about in your book, Opium of the Almond Tree. How did you survive? And then what do you think people that grew up in America, we have this, aversion to hardship and pain. What can we do to really make a difference on this Giving Tuesday? I'm not talking about white guilt or anything like that. I'm just talking about how can we be honest with ourselves and say, okay, there are people less fortunate than me. How have you succeeded? Because I know you helped your sister come here and to get out of Georgia, or actually move to Slovenia. And, the thing that I've always admired about immigrants is not only do they have the hustle, the drive, the determination to better their life, but they're always helping their family take the next step. And it seems like immigrants seem to have this third and fourth generation. You talk about your great grandparents being beheaded in front of your grandparents. And I think most Americans can't even conceptualize this. Maybe with the recent invasion of Hamas into Israel and the atrocities that happened October 7th, maybe we're getting just a little picture. Does hardship make us better? What would you say? I think I need to bring your other persona back in. Maybe we dropped you. And that's going to be the mystery question as you come back in, and you may be having some tech issues. So when we come back, you're watching The Michael D Show. You're watching The Michael D Show every Tuesday morning right here, a co-host with Roy Snar. Roy Snar Agency. We're going to do some giveaways today. It's a $15,000 package. You get coached by Roy Snar. You get coached with Julene B. Ryan. This is epic, guys. You get books from all of these authors. We're going to package up because the Beyond Publishing authors, the Beyond Publishing company has outgrown San Antonio, and we're busting out of the walls. And Thursday, the movers are coming. I got boxes all over the office. We're heading out. And you say, where are you going? Location and big announcement to be determined. I'm going to let you know. It's going to be epic. But first, this right here, just for you. Changing lives in New York and NASDAQ and beyond. Michael D. Butler, Global Book Publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org. Yeah, that was the first hour. And Ilona, so great to have you with us. I know every time me and the team go to Pakistan, and I think we can hear you now, every time me and the team go to Pakistan, you're wanting to go, because last year we had a book launch with your client, launching the book in Greece, speaking in Dubai and in London, some big epic things. You even landed through your social media an interview and an opportunity to meet with the First Lady of your home country of Georgia. But back to my question, you can comment on any of that, but now that we can hear you again, and before we go into the second hour with some great guests in the queue, in the green room, you don't want to miss it. It's going to be great. Does hardship make things better?
I think it makes it wiser. And I always tell people, I always love to talk to people who have a PhD, who are poor, who are hungry, and who are determined. These three categories in your life can make you be hungry to achieve your dreams. And if you don't have that hunger in your life, you will not be able to succeed. And big why is what has made me to get up, to wake up every single day on an empty stomach and grind. I finished my school without drive. I got my bachelor's in 1 year with a 4.0 GPA in America. I entered my master's, while I was finishing my bachelor. I became a student speaker for bachelor's, became a student speaker for my master's, and I teach people, every woman, how to succeed without apology, because every single one of us have this spark inside us. You only have to have the right person to rekindle inside of you. And for me, it was mom, and I want to be the mom for my kids to rekindle their spark, and also want to be a spiritual mom for them in Pakistan and anyone that I come in contact with, so I can rekindle that small dream that they have inside them, so they will keep going in their lives. And I'm so excited, Michael, to partner and hopefully and visit these kids. And also, I have been invited to speak at a women's conference in Chile with the 4 countries being there as a guest speaker. And I'm very honored to bring the God's message to the people in Spanish to this nation. So God is using me, and I cannot wait. Everything is count. And giving doesn't mean you have to give monetary either. You can support, you can promote, you can market, you can just hashtag it. It's free. That doesn't cost you anything, but it will help us visibility as well. So small things like that can go a long way. So please help us with that to promote this place, promote this platform and this mission and the ministry. So thank you, Michael.
Dios le bendiga. Gracias, gracias. Roy, you had something to add. Thank you, Alona. Go ahead, Roy.
Yeah, I just want to say, I love your story because, we're so spoiled here in the U.S. This is what I tell a lot of my clients. We share about the foundation, a lot of the agents and agencies that we work with too. The U.S. is not perfect by any means, but my goodness, it's a lot better than a lot of other places. And so this is what also drives us. And we share a lot of our stories too, because people today, they may get their feelings hurt for some reason or another, but then you look at the bigger picture of how fortunate and blessed that we are, and you sharing your story and having these other women share that story. That's pure empathy because you've been through similar situations, and that just helps create a very strong foundation. So I always encourage people, if you're working with a charity or you're looking to get into the charity, take a bigger perspective. Like, I haven't personally been to Pakistan. I know Michael has, but just seeing those videos, it's like, wow. I mean, I can go down to Austin here. It's nothing like that whatsoever. We are so fortunate here. And if we just look at the other parts of the world, it helps us encourage ourselves to budget and donate even more.
Outstanding. I'm looking at the emails coming in. People are donating around the country, all over. And, as you were talking, Alona, I thought of this shirt I just bought for me and my sons. It says, hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. You are here. So the harder we are, as Zig Ziglar says, the harder we are on ourselves, the easier life is on us. Most people are looking for the path of least resistance and looking for the easy way, right? And so I want to be hard on myself. I want to be striving for more, and the reward is past the pain point to get to the reward. So we're glad you're here. You're watching the Michael D Show. We're doing some amazing things. You just heard from Pastor John, our team leader in Pakistan. Our 4 safe houses are 394 girls, our full-time staff of 25, where we feed 40,000 meals a month. And we're doing a great Christmas drive. Let's go look at our Give Butter. I'm going to share the screen. I don't know where we're at right now. I'm going to get the numbers. Then we're going to go to a very special guest from Queens, New York. And she's got something epic to share with us and some great giveaways. Hey, Alona, before we say bye to you, or hopefully you can stick around, I think you had a giveaway for the folks. What do you got today that we can put in the raffle, but also maybe you could give one-on-one as a prize to somebody that reaches out to you and claims the prize? Because I know you got lots of good stuff.
Yes, I have glad, but I'm going to leave with 2. Number 1, I would love to give you a strategy call, how to become a TEDx speaker. It's amazing. And the second one is my daughter. She's also a coach. She helps tremendously and very effective the kids who have been, affected by the divorce. And she talks to them. She lets them know how to be still a great student in the school. So if you know anyone, the teens who are affected by it, she's phenomenal. She's a best-selling author. She's international speaker and a 3-time TEDx champion as well. So, and I would love to coach you on how to get your message into the global stage on a TEDx.
So Milana is how old now? 12 now? 13?
She's 12. Yeah, she actually published the first books through you, Michael, at the age of 10. So,
and she's probably on book 3 by now. I think I can't keep up with her.
She's actually book 5.
Oh my goodness! There you go. Well, you've raised some overachievers. Pop your information in the chat. Be sure and connect with her. I'm going to share the screen So glad you're here. It is Tuesday. We had Black Friday. We had Small Business Saturday. We had Go to Church Sunday. We had Cyber Monday, which was, I got to say, huge for us. We did a huge 5 figures. We almost did 6 figures yesterday. 30% of that goes to 1040 Impact. In fact, we're going to extend our Cyber Monday. Our Cyber Monday was so good last night. I finally had to go to bed about midnight because people were begging for invoices. And I'm just like, guys, I'm going to have to get some sleep because tomorrow's a big day. And I'm going to put up the note on that. If you want $10,000 off a publishing package that doesn't expire for an entire year, or that you can gift to somebody for $49.97, that's coming up. And as soon as I find it on the other side of this word, let me share it with you. So, I've also got something very exciting I'm announcing. Through the pandemic and even beyond the pandemic, it's all about sitting around the campfire and telling stories. Do you remember those days of going camping with friends and family and sitting around and building a bonfire and roasting marshmallows? Do you remember breaking out the guitar and singing songs together and telling stories late until the night, until the sun came up? Well, if that's the type of thing you like, I'm going to share with you. We're doing the very first one, and we're calling it Thursday Night.Live. It's in December, and it's going to fill up quick. It's going to be in the evening time at 8 p.m. Central on a Thursday night, and we're just going to hear some great stories. We're going to go around the circle, go around the campfire, and we might even actually have some marshmallows and some coffee or whatever you like. You can bring it with you, and we'll just have a big virtual group hug and story time about your dreams and goals for 2024. It won't just be authors. There'll be a lot of authors there, but I anticipate there's going to be people from all walks of life, just like we have on these Michael D calls. There's going to be business owners. There's going to be housewives. There's going to be business startups, nonprofit founders, and speakers. Just going to be a fun time of sitting around the virtual campfire and hanging out together. So be sure and jump on that Thursday Night.Live, because that's gonna really fill up quick, and we don't want you to miss it. And so I'm going to share my screen right now because we're going to go see how we're doing on the Give Butter. And I love it when we refresh this page at givebutter.com/1040. Let's see how we are doing. There it goes. There it goes. Yeah, and that's the sound of the randomly will. And I'm going to share my screen. I shared my screen with you. You saw it there, guys. We went up a few $100 in the last few minutes. So thanks for all those donations that are coming in at 1040 Impact and GiveButter.com/1040. You're watching the Michael D Show. Amazing guests from around the world. I'm very excited about our next guest because she's all about helping people communicate better. She's in Queens, New York. I met her personally, and Julianne B. Ryan is here in the house. She's an author, a speaker, a facilitator, and she wrote a great book on communication called Learned It in Queens. So welcome to the Michael D Show on this Giving Tuesday, Julianne. How are you? Let me unmute you, or if you can unmute. There you go. Now try that again.
Okay, I'm doing great, and I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so happy to follow Lona, because I know if we were sitting together having coffee, we have a lot in common, because a lot of the work I did in my book was informed by immigrant experiences and what you learned from that. So we can talk more about that in a minute or so. So ask me your question, because I not only brought my book on the screen because I know I was talking to people from Texas today. I brought even the bigger version with the huge font, because sometimes we need more space to write what we need to work on for ourselves. Anyway.
Well, I know you've been speaking all over the city. You've been doing events all over New York and the Big Apple, and you've kind of made it a fun thing, and you've been coaching people on, with the holidays coming up, just how to be a better listener, a better communicator. Where's kind of your sweet spot for businesses and coaching clients to be better communicators and build better teams?
So with me, it's not about phrasing grammar or what we're doing. It's about being patient with ourselves and how we show up and paying attention to what we're contributing to the situation. Because a lot of the bad communication starts with us. So if we can work on ourselves to get out our own way, we're working forward. And my work is really helping people to show how they can connect with each other with their listening skills, with a little bit of humor, and get curious. Both of you have just talked about how meeting people from other walks of life can teach us a lot. And that really resonated with me because a lot of my book was informed about growing up in Queens. We're multicultural, so many different nationalities everywhere. So when you're really in close proximity to each other and get curious, we can learn, we can gain context. So I look at my book as a antidote to bad communications. Just like you take some cough medicine at this time of year when you're feeling scratchy throats, this helps. And it's a great disruptor, team building thing that can show us what we all do. We all make mistakes. This book is on my desk every day. And you might be wondering why, Michael, and what informs me to be an expert. Not only was in HR, not only did I teach and lead groups, and I spent my time, like I said, in New York with lots of humans around me. I've been married for decades. And that last statement alone should drive you to your credit card because that has been my long-term training academy. So I am my own customer. When you ask me, who's my customer? I'm my customer right now. So, and I bring this kind of energy to my groups and to my sessions in person, because I don't come in there saying I've got all the answers and I'm perfect. What I'm saying is we can work on things together and find the good stories and learn from them and have some fun building trust in the meantime. So that's what it's about.
Well, I think you hit the nail right on the head there. It's just everyday life, right? That's going to enhance your relationships and being a better listener, a better communicator, asking the right questions, knowing who your audience is, if it's an audience of 1 or an audience of 1,000. Tell me a little bit about what they're going to get in this coaching, this consulting, as well as your book. We've got your book here in the office. I left it out, made sure they didn't box it up because that one is going out with the raffle. So tell us a little bit about the gift card, the complimentary coaching session. What does this look like when somebody signs up with you for coaching?
I use their story. I show people how to capture and appreciate moments in their life and turn, like Alona said, their pain into their purpose and their passion. I help them appreciate it. And when people start to appreciate their story and how it informed them, they start to grow into themselves. They change. And many times they're more open to how they receive others. So I do a lot of listening, and then I work with them, figuring out what they need to use their story for. Is it for an interview? Is it for them to appreciate what they can do in their current job? And just work with their voice. And it is magical to see somebody start to light up and really start to look at what their possibilities are. So that's one thing I work on. The workbook, as you say, it's a playbook, and this edition has a workbook because we can read something and go, yeah, that's good, that's helpful. And then we forget. When we take a pause and say, well, what about you, sister or brother? What are you going to do to tweak and fix? Now, my book isn't preachy. It's like having me in a voice in your head. I make fun of us. I talk to you. If you decide you're going to turn the page and skip over exercise, I already thought about that, and I tell you to go back. So it's all about being real and having fun. And having fun. And nobody has time to read a thesis or a big PowerPoint when you're in trouble and you feel it. So the book was designed to have pictures that can log into your brain and help you remember. Many of you might remember a character from way back when from TV, Columbo. He used to have one great question. Ask one more question when he was on a case as a detective. I use that as well.
I loved it. He would always walking out of the room, right? And he's like,
yes.
Can I ask you another question? I love that.
And I can tell you, and I'm sure all of you have had this experience, when you've asked one more question and really appreciate, not to judge, not to criticize, but to appreciate somebody, magic happens. And that trust is when somebody feels seen, heard, and appreciated. That's what it's all about. We may not agree with everything that other person said sometimes, but if we can appreciate their experience and their context, you're on the right path to really improving relationships, whether in your family, in your school, or in your workplace. And that's what it's about.
That's epic. And Julianne, let me ask you this, because the pandemic changed everything. I wish I would have invested in Zoom March of 2020 and seen that stock price go through the roof. We didn't realize we're all going to be in lockdown. How has communication etiquette and listening, being in virtual meetings? I mean, some people are showing up in their bathrobes still. What is your advice to show up in professionally in a business setting, even if you're from home in your underwear?
Your analogy was closer than you think, given some experiences I've had. So I was just texting my brother about a situation like that. Still put your best foot forward. It's not rocket science, as we say in Queens. Like, show up your best way. You don't have to be fancy. You don't have to invest a lot of bells, but just straighten your hair, fix your clothes, and just sit up straight. That's a foundational thing. Let's start with the basics. And then figure out what the other person is experiencing. How do you want to show up in that person's experience of you? So it's the little things that matter. Now, I know when I wrote this book that it launched during COVID, I was talking about in-person and live, but you can do exactly what we're doing today, showing up to listen, to pay attention, to carve out time that everybody that you're speaking with gets heard, and you can form some good relationships and friendships. It is possible. This last couple of years have shown us that lesson, and it's a good one. And then when you meet in person, you get all excited because you can look at them and experience them in 3D, walk around and have a chat, and then have some food. Always a big thing.
Epic, epic, epic. So what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? And your info, your book, and your consult is going in the raffle, but somebody wants to reach out to you directly. How do they find you?
I put it in the chat. It's jryanpartners.com, and you can even put my name into a URL and it'll show up on LinkedIn. Thanks to Michael. The book is traveling around the globe at all these English-speaking publishing platforms and all the major book publishers. So it's been exciting, and I can't wait to collaborate on some more books with you as we go forward.
Well, it's been exciting. I just added you there, jryanpartners.com, and there should be a space opens in a new tab. I don't know what's up with StreamYard today. Let me fix that. So you're watching the Michael D Show. We've had people around the globe today. We had Pakistan checking in. A lot of times we'll have Israel checking in. We've got our correspondent from the Knesset who lives in Tel Aviv. I was speaking with her this morning. She had another meeting, but yeah. And very excited to have you here today. And Julianne, very excited to have you. Appreciate your support for 1040 Impact and all the great work we're doing. And you got to meet Pastor John leading the team on the ground. I think his phone died. So good stuff. Actually, I got people texting me they want to go to Pakistan this year. I've got several, even from Toronto, Ryan, that want to go with me to be a part of the video documentary team. We're shooting a documentary over there. Roy, would love to check in with you and see your thoughts, man. I mean, you're helping me co-host today.
Yes,
you're doing amazing things. You run a book publishing company that Beyond Publishing fulfills the back end for, but you've got a lot going on. You host live events, you're speaking everywhere. You're in the news media. Thanks, Julianne. That was awesome. Hope you can stick around. It's epic what you do. And Roy, thanks for being you're our first corporate donor. We've had some other corporate donors step up since they've seen you do it. We're pretty new. I'm not new to the nonprofit world, but just as far as getting the word out about what we're doing, it's been great. Tell us what you got planned for 2024. What do you have lined up? How far out ahead do you plan? I know you got a staff that works in your office. What's kind of the strategy? Give us a little insight into Roy Snar and what you got going on.
Yeah, thanks so much. I mean, that's one of the things too, like on the coaching call, if you ever want to take advantage of that, anybody, is like we run an insurance agency, but we've also built other businesses, and it's very dynamic. A lot of the principles of business are applicable regardless of which industry that you're in. And to Michael's point, we created a private label publishing company, and now we're offering these books to be ghostwritten and in their own personal names to agents all across the country. So if you're in real estate or regardless of what you're doing, like Julianne, if you're coaching people, you can say, hey, look, here's an opportunity. You could have your own book. This is going to help you get onto stages and help build your credibility. And that's one of the things that we help a lot of people with, is actually creating an online presence so that they can brand themselves. And to your point, you don't have to be fancy. I mean, literally, I'll do calls with people that are, we had a call yesterday with the gentleman who actually created $2 billion companies. We're going to go into investing with him and launch a company public together, which is going to be a lot of fun. And I get to be a part of that. It's a good learning curve. And I literally just wore a sweatshirt and a hat. Like, you know, you don't have to wear the suit and tie if you don't want to. In certain situations, you have to, right? But other than that, you could just be yourself and not be so hard on yourself. And you don't have to worry about being too fancy, because a lot of our agents are the same way. They try to perfect themselves. So one of the things that we're doing for next year, our big launch, we're actually getting a much larger office. It's 4 times the size that we're in currently. And what we've done with our business model is we've shifted slightly to more of an agency perspective versus just a personal production shop. So we help thousands of people every single year all across the country. But now we're taking it to the next level. We're building an agency, and we're training hundreds of agents all over the country on their own independent business practice on how they can actually scale and create a multi-million-dollar agency that we have. So that's one of our biggest goals there. And also to be much more influential in the charitable space, because number one, we do it because it feels good. That's why I love 1040 Impact. You don't get a handwritten thank you card or a picture. It doesn't matter, right? The money is going to help those kids. And that's the most important part. And that's what we try to get across to people. And then what we're doing with that, we're telling our clients about it. We're putting links. We're building out a whole new site to say, look, if you want to donate to one of our few charities, we have 1040 Impact. We have another one that's a Second Amendment Right Foundation. And then we also have one that helps sponsors parents for their kids that are sick and they can't afford the crazy medical bills. And, you know, we just say, hey, look, if you want to donate, be a part of it, you totally can. And then we're going to launch another provision out that with some of our book publishings that we're doing, we're going to take a percentage of those proceeds and give it back into the charity. And then this way, the people that purchase the book or they use some of our services, some of that money is going to go back into a charity for them, which is really, really cool. And so that way they're giving back and also benefiting from the services that we are actually creating. So by the end of next year, with the way that we're going so far, we'll be in the top 15 agencies in the country, which is, it's hard to get there, but we've been doing it for about 13 years and we'll be in the top 15.
Talk to me about long-term strategy versus short-term gain. You know, there's a lot of business owners, there's a lot of entrepreneurs in startup mode that take a shortcut because it's going to put more money in their pocket more quickly. You've taken more of a long-term strategy.
Yes.
And I might just say, man, when you started this company, not only were you broke, your family was broke. You were 19 years old. You were living in your truck in Silicon Valley.
Yeah.
You were going to the business centers at hotels to print your flyers so you could print them for free and get out before the security guard caught you. You really started your company on a shoestring. Where did you come up with this long-term strategy? Was this just your intuition, or how'd you do it? And by the way, do you like this? I'm calling you an insurance innovator.
Well, I like that. Yeah, I'll put that on my LinkedIn profile. Yeah, you know,
one of the few perks of working with Beyond.
Exactly. You know, it's very hard to think long term because today's world, we're very impatient and instant gratification. Like if I order something on Amazon and it takes 2 days, I'm like, I can't believe it's taking 2 days. Why isn't it here tomorrow? Like in the past, it would take a week or two. So business is even harder because when you plan for the long term, there's a lot of hopes and ifs and wishes and maybe nots that are in between there. And so what we do is we set micro goals like, okay, within this month, we need to do X amount of our goals. And then by the quarter, we need to do X amount. And then by 1 year, we need to be here by the end of this year. And we break it down time-wise. I mean, literally my calendar is broken into 15-minute segments as much as possible. Some of them are 30 or an hour. Because I've really learned that, you know, time is the most precious asset that we have, and we can never get back. But we can always make more money, but we can't make more time. So as a business owner, it's really hard not to focus on a million different things. There's so many different opportunities and options. And so what I've learned over the years, and what we help tell our other agents and other folks that are in different businesses, is that you really need to narrow down on one niche, be a complete expert in that, and then in time, sure, diversify and spread out. But we've just really put our heads down to say, we're going to do one thing, which is build this $100 million agency. We're almost there as it is. And we're going to accomplish that by the end of next year. And then how do we get there? Well, we need to see the numbers on how to get there and what it costs to get to those numbers. And we break it down. Literally, I just whiteboard it. That's all it is. It's not complicated. It's not on QuickBooks or anything. I can barely even turn on an Excel spreadsheet. And then we do check-ins too. We meet once a week as a team to check in to make sure we're on track. And if we're behind, we say, how do we figure out this here to, get back on track? And that may require me to work late at night or early in the morning, or maybe on the weekend a little bit. So
outstanding. Well, that's great. That's great stuff, man. And see what I was going to ask you. You and I met at a networking event, and you've done a lot of media. You've published the books. In fact, we're including the 2 titles that I have in the office today are Social Security 101 and Long-Term Care. So I love the long-term care strategy. This is a product not a lot of insurance agents offer. It's a lot of work. It's very labor intensive. And you just said, hey, listen, this is a product that we're good at. We figured out how to do. And then you can actually let an agent, like when I moved to Florida, whoops, did I give a hint? In the future, if I were to ever move to Florida, there's so many old people there that need long-term care. I'm just going to be hanging out at the beach and be getting you on the phone with them. So people are literally getting paid for something and they're not having to do the work. And I kind of like, we're talking about in my book, Billionaire Influence, about J. Paul Getty, who's from my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. America's first billionaire, the world's first billionaire, said, I'd rather have 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own. And people ask me all the time, Michael, how did you grow beyond publishing to $1 million company so quickly? And not spending any money on advertising or marketing? I say it's referrals. It's all of our referral partners, because every one of my authors refers business to me and they get paid. And it's not something I have to have in the budget until a new customer signs up. I don't have to pay that referral commission out until that new customer comes on board. And you've kind of built that model. It's almost a white label model, right? With the long-term care you're underwriting.
Yes, because what we do, a couple of things. One, we allow agents to actually have access to the book themselves, so they can white label the book. I just remove my personal chapter, and then they can use that own book. They just have to pay for their own copies. That's it. Very simple, straightforward, no setup fee, design costs. Just say, hey, look, you can use this book, just buy your own copies. And then what we do with a lot of these agencies is like, hey, look, we have a whole entire team that's designed to help you scale your practice. And if you don't want to write it, we will write it for you with a commission share. And that has opened up the doors immensely. And that's one of the key things about business, is that if you can find a problem in your market and then create a solution for it, it's a win-win. And we found a huge problem because nobody wants to write long-term care. It's a real big pain and it takes forever. And then half the people get declined at the end of it. But it's a very much needed service. And a lot of these agents aren't even touching it. So we said, hey, look, we'll be that agency that actually touches it for you. And we'll do all the work with their client, and you get a revenue share. And our business has dramatically exploded ever since we rolled that out, because a lot of these people, they need that service, but these agents, they don't want to write it. So that was one of the big problems we saw in our space, and how we're creating a solution for it.
Outstanding. I love it, Roy, and really glad to have you here. Hey, listen, of the events you're attending next year, where's the one place you want to go? Let's say, where are you taking the family on vacation? And then where is the one you're going professionally that is a must not miss event for you? So family vacation and then must not event for you in 2024.
So family vacation, we're going to do 2. We're going to do one in Destin, Florida, and then one up in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. That way we get the best of both worlds. We get the beach and then we get the mountains. Because in Texas, we have the beach. There are 0 mountains and there's 0 forests. But the beach here in Texas, if you've ever been there, you probably won't want to go back again. It's nothing like Destin, Florida. So we go to Florida for that. On the business side, it's challenging. I get invited to speak at a lot of different events, but it's very hard for me to go with 3 kids at home. My wife would kill me if I went on all these trips. Hey, I'm going to Vegas for a week. I'll be back. And she's just like holding all 3 kids. So the one trip that we are doing that is a very big business one, it is in Vegas. It's Medicare Con. There's going to be over 1,000 agents there that I get to speak at, helping them understand the value of long-term care. And then for that trip, I am going to take the whole family out with me. So that'll be fun.
I was fortunate to go with you. You invited me to come along to Medicare Con last year. In fact, great pictures of you on the main stage there, just rocking it. You were the next to the last keynote speaker. So it was epic and awesome. So I think that's a good strategy, man. I love Destin, Florida. I know one of our next guests, Charlie Jones, board member of 1040 Impact, loves Destin, Florida. And so we're going to hear from him in a minute. But I just want to say, if you've been trying to write a book and you've been stuck and your friends and family have been saying you need to write a book, well, we've got the perfect thing for you. We've got a course called Write Your Book in an Hour. This is what I was teaching pre-COVID. People were buying it for $1,200 online for years. It's helped hundreds of people write their book, and it's based on my best-selling book, Book Idea to Bestseller in 30 Days, which is included in the package, the raffle package. So if you want to be included in the raffle, we're doing randomly today at the top of the hour. We're going to spin the wheel. What's in this raffle package today that we're shipping out? Well, you've got a coaching by Julie B. Ryan. You got coaching from Roy. You've got a book publishing package valued at $14,000. I'm going to throw in this shirt that I just purchased on how to achieve good times. Yeah, I'm going to throw that in. That's a great gift. That's a great stocking stuffer. We're going to give you our top selling books, our best selling books at Beyond. We're packing up the office because we've outgrown San Antonio and we're busting at the seams. We're going global, folks. Now, we've always been global, 64 countries, but the nations are calling us, and we're going to go visit our people. How about that? So we're really glad you're here. Really glad you're here. If you're not on the stage, please mute out. I'm going to mute you out so we don't have any background noise. And jump on Roy's calendar right now. You can get a consult with Roy. I think roysnar.com is where you want to send them, Roy.
Yeah, I can even drop a Calendly link in the chat. And
Do that. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, we were going to end the Cyber Monday promotion last night, but like I said, at 11:59, I'm like, guys, I got to go to bed. People were texting me, asking me to send an invoice, and you're going to get coaching with Roy's in the package, coaching with Julianne's in the package. Her book is in the package. We got so many. We got Charlie Anderson's Brownies are in the package. My best-selling books, Finding the Speaker's Edge and Book Idea to Bestseller in 30 Days is in the package. We've even got some swag all the way from Pakistan. If you ever want to dress, Julianne, what else? You're waving at me. Go ahead.
I gotta go.
Okay.
I have coaching to do, so I want to make sure you saw that. I wrote a message to you in the chat. Thank you, everyone. Safe and healthy.
That. I got to go too.
Queens, goodbye. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, you're watching the Michael D Show. It's Giving Tuesday. The donations have been rolling in. We're saying thank you to everyone because your donations are tripled today and today only because of Beyond Publishing. We've been so blessed. We love to pay it forward. And I noticed we were really blessed when we started 1040 Impact, just started doing what we're doing with church planting and teaching these kids and rescuing these kids from human trafficking in Pakistan and beyond in the 1040 window. Big thanks and shout out to Julianne, Roger, Roy, Ron, Adina. Almost like I'm going alphabetical there. That just happened. Adina, Charlie, Bruce, Amy. Beyond Publishing is tripling your donations today, which they've been doing for since the summer anyway. So we have something to do about that and say about that. So I appreciate that. I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to bring Charlie in, and this was actually 2 years ago when we went to Pakistan. Charlie's been a dear friend since third grade, and Ron Isom has kind of seen that happen. He's one of our authors. He's going to be sharing a bit, but I'm going to share my screen and show you what we had going on during the month of Ramadan, where churches were being burned, police headquarters were being burned, some police officers were being shot. The roads that would normally take us 30 minutes or an hour and a half to get to the meeting was taking 4 and 5 hours because we had to go the long way. The Taliban literally were in the street. We pulled into a gas station to gas up the van. And in the van, we had Pastor John. We had our armed security guards with machine guns. And Charlie and I look out the window and we're like, they're having a Taliban rally. Believe it or not, everybody's got a beer. And I said, are these windows tinted? And they said, yeah, but get down anyway. So those were the circumstances last time we were there. We're going to take a little look inside so you can see. Charlie is leading a 60-year-old Muslim man to Jesus. And this is one of the most precious moments of that trip I'm going to share with you right now. There, we have sharpshooters on the roof as we're speaking, and the ministry time was so good that Charlie couldn't find the interpreters. The interpreters were helping me pray for people. Charlie was leading this 60-year-old Muslim man. house, from our safe house in Sahiwal, Charlie, or that was actually in Lahore. Charlie, how you doing today in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma? Charlie, are you in the Matrix?
Good. How's the connection?
We're going to come back
okay?
to Charlie. Maybe it's just me in the Matrix. Pastor Ron.
Hear me all right? How's the connection?
It sounds like we're coming together, man. How was your time? You were with me about 14 days in Pakistan. You spoke to thousands of people all over the country. What was just your takeaway with everything you saw on the ground? I'm going to come back to you, Charlie, because we're not getting a good signal right now. So maybe we'll come back to you. Let's go to Pastor Ron. Pastor Ron, you wrote a book called Reign of Grace. I'm going to unmute you, sir, and ask you to unmute. If you can please unmute, that'd be great to unmute yourself. Good to have you here. You're in Oklahoma. You're the founder, or you're the pastor. We're the pastor. You're the retired, I guess, pastor emeritus of Anchor of Grace. Is that what it is?
Yeah, founding pastor, I guess. Yeah.
Well, it's great to have you. Been dear friends for a lot of years. You were my pastor, and one of the first pastors that saw something in me. You pushed me out on stage. You gave me an opportunity when I was just a teenager to speak to the youth. So this past year, we published your book, Reign of Grace. I hope you've got a copy. My copies are packed away for the move. That is a massive book. How many pages did that end up being, Ron?
A lot.
380.
Yeah, 407, 408, something like that. Yeah.
Now it's interesting. This book was actually taken from your pastor's sermons. Pastor Don Pickrell did a series on grace, and then I think your wife Diane transcribed the entire message series and turned it into a book.
Yes. Yeah, it's 25 sermons. He did in 1973, which is a long time ago, but it was kind of the first real message on grace that came into the church back in those days. Grace was something that you said before you ate a meal at that point, rather than really what grace is. And so he did a series. It was pretty revolutionary at that time.
Now, you just got back from California. You did a book tour. You presented the book to your alma mater, Life Bible College, Pacific Bible College now. And that was founded by Amy Semple McPherson, who was not only an innovator in her time, she was one of the very original women pastors, women ministers, where she had 20,000 people come into her church on a Sunday at Angela's Temple. And she had famous people. She had people like Marilyn Monroe and Ronald Reagan and people from the movie industry. I talk about her in my book, Finding the Speaker's Edge, because she was so innovative. Now, you've been able to get this book into the Bible College, into the president's hands of the denomination Foursquare. Tell us a little bit about how is this book impacting people? And then you've got a new book coming out. I want to talk a little bit about that, but you and I share something as well. A few years ago, you were in India. And when you spoke in India, I think to an epic crowd, much larger than the crowd I've spoken to. How many people were in that crowd that day?
Well, it's kind of an estimate, about 50,000 people. Then it was being spoken out through loudspeakers in the area, like in the city there. So there was a lot of people listening. It was quite an opportunity, and a little scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would imagine. Well, I tell you, Charlie and I, Charlie and I from when we were both rowdy rascals in your church, in your youth group, probably caused trouble. I would probably cause them more trouble than Charlie. He was a little more well-behaved. I remember the bottle rocket fights at Carcelari whenever Oklahoma outlawed bottle rockets. We had, I think it was an unsanctioned bottle rocket war on the church property until midnight. Officially, Charlie, the bottle rockets were outlawed at midnight, and we had a big stack, right? Charlie, let's see if you're screaming. Unmute and say, hey, Charlie. Charlie. Looks like he's posing for a photograph in the 1800s. He's frozen.
Oh,
Can you unmute yourself, Charlie? Hey, Ron, tell me briefly about this book you've got. You spoke a sermon the last few weeks about loving yourself, and just kind of give us the synopsis here. And a lot of people came to you and said, Pastor Ron, that needs to be a book, and we're talking about making it a book. Give us a little glimpse into what.
There we go.
yeah.
Charlie, say good to have you, brother. Do you remember the bottle rocket fights at Carcelari? Man, you are froze up. We had a better signal from Pakistan. I don't know what's going on in Broken Arrow today. But Ron, give us a little glimpse of this new book you got coming out.
Well, I've been focusing for the last 2 years on this subject because it personally was a big thing I needed to experience. And it was, sorry, my voice is a little bit crazy today, a little cold or something. But at any rate, the scriptures tells us, that we're to love our neighbor as ourselves. And we focus almost always on the loving our neighbor part, which is obviously extremely important. And but there is this focus at the end of that equation we do that as we love ourselves. And the problem with that is that we don't basically love ourselves, not naturally, not normally. Many people struggle with that concept. Unfortunately, the psychologists and those sociologists, those groups, have really got the corner on that market in terms of its importance. And I think they've got some good things to say. However, I wanted to do it from the biblical standpoint. In Matthew, Jesus is asked, what's the greatest commandment? He said, the greatest commandment is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. And the second is like it, love your neighbor as yourself. So we do pretty good with the love of the Lord our God, those of us who know Christ. We do pretty good with our neighbors. But unfortunately, there's not a lot about people loving themselves, not in the church. At least I haven't found anything. Even the things that I did find mostly related to the first part. So every time it says in the Bible for us to love ourselves, there's a thing before it. So like husbands are to love their wife as they love themselves. Christ loved the church. And we're to love our wife as Christ loved the church. Well, that's great. But if we don't love ourselves, then we're not fully loving our wife or anything else for that matter. And because we cannot give away something that we don't have. Like we can't give away peace, for instance, if we don't have any. People will read right through that. We can't give away joy if we don't have it. I'll tell you a quick story. I was in a pastor's meeting one time. I oversee a group of pastors here in the area. And this pastor he was going to give a devotion. It was at his church. And that's how our tradition was. If you're at the church, you gave the devotion. And he said to the pastors, he says, today, see if I can do this. Today, I would like to talk to you about being extremely happy. Well, I thought to myself, if that's it, I don't want it. Okay, so anyway, he gave this devotion, and it became kind of a joke among the pastors. But I think that no look face, he was completely bored, and now he's wanting to get us in the mood for what he had to say. But the problem is, of course, as you know, is that people have upbringing problems, issues with their family, their children, their parents, obviously, and they carry that. We carry that through our life. I know I did, and most of the sermon, or big portion of it, the second part of it, is all about my trouble with that verse, because quite frankly, I didn't like it a whole lot. I never preached about it because I didn't love myself. So over the last 2 years, I've been doing the study, and I've come to a place where I can say now I love myself. And that's what I want to share with other people, is how we love other people is how we love ourselves.
I think that's so powerful, and I think that's going to be epic, and hopefully we can help you publish that. I think going into the new year or going into March, that's just going to be an epic message. So what we're giving today, guys, here at the top of the hour, we're going to do a random raffle on everybody that has donated at givebutter.com/1040. We have a number of people that have donated and businesses that have donated. So if you haven't been over there yet, check it out. And people are watching live everywhere. A number of ways you can give. You can text 1040 to 53555 to donate. You can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. And or you can go directly to the link at givebutter.com/1040. It is Giving Tuesday, and your gifts are triple today, thanks to Beyond Publishing. And I want to thank all of our sponsors today. I want to thank Roy Snar for donating his generous time and being here with me today. And I want to thank Julianne for donating her coaching, Roy for donating his books. We're taking the top books that have sold in 2023, which includes many of our books that are represented here, like Reign of Grace and Finding the Speaker's Edge and Book Idea, a bestseller. We're shipping those books out with your package. A lot of Texas-centric things, including brownies and all kinds of surprises in there, some swag, and maybe some swag from Pakistan. Let's see if we can hear from Charlie. Would love to hear from Charlie as a board member, 1040 Impact and Broken Arrow. Let's see if we get a better signal. Charlie, can you say hey? Really glad to have you, but I think you've been in the Matrix most of the morning. Pastor John is on the ground. For those of you who have met him earlier, I know it's about 11:30, almost midnight over in Pakistan. Pastor John, how are you, sir?
I'm good. It's good to see you back again because I was lost my phone battery, so it's good to be back again over here. Thank you, guys. It's really privileged to join you all, the team, and share some of our groundwork. Just keep praying, and I look forward to speak with you all again back whenever we'll be scheduled again. Thank you.
Thank you for being with us, sir. Keep up the good work, and your team, and you're purchasing Christmas for our 394 girls and our 25 staff. So that's where this is going today. We are almost at 8,000. I'm just going to check on this really quick. Oh, yeah. Put a copy of your book. Yes, Debbie, we can. Debbie says, hey, can you put a copy of my book in the gift swag bag? We can, Debbie. Yes, we can. There's Debbie. And great thing about Debbie, she just published her second book on faith, has done 18 media interviews, 18 podcast interviews. She's a part of our Beyond Publishing Mastermind. We're going to include her book. That's going to be great. Divine Promises. And we're going to include that in the swag as well. And Ryan Lewis has been here from Toronto. For those of you that came on a little bit later, I'm going to share the screen and show you what he's got. And I'm going to reshare the link because you can actually go and bid on these epic, authentic sports memorabilia. This is his company. And he's got some amazing things. He's got a signed Wayne Gretzky jersey. Some of my favorite stuff is in here. There's the signed throwback jersey of Wayne Gretzky. There's the Tom Brady framed and on canvas NFL legend for both of his teams. He's got some great stuff here. He's got some music memorabilia. He's got the great Michael Jordan. I'm not sharing the screen, so let me share the screen so you can actually see it. There you go. I'm going to share that link. I mean, you can go bid on this stuff. You can get this stuff. This makes great gifts, great stocking stuffers for that hard-to-find person. He's actually set up an entire 1040 store here. I mean, Queen memorabilia, Spider-Man memorabilia, NFL, National Hockey League, Major League Baseball. I mean, just some incredible music, collectibles, Marvel collectibles. Take your pick. There you go. So we appreciate Ryan for setting that up. We'll reshare the link. And we're getting close to the top of the hour. We want to see if we can mute you out. You got some background noise. I'm just going to mute you out. Thanks so much. And we're going to do it randomly here in a little bit. Hey, Roy, I would love to hear from you. It's been great of you co-hosting. I'm wondering, how much of your business do you run from home, and how much do you actually go into the office every day?
Well, I've only had an office since 2021. Other than that, I run everything from home, but now I come to the office every single day. It's impossible to focus at home with the kids and the baby and the dog and the cat and the wife, everything. I can never get anything done. So I come to the office, and it also helps me scale faster as well, because I can meet with 7, 8 people a day in the office, and then I'm at one location versus having them come to my house, which is kind of weird, or me going over to their house all the time. So it's much easier and scalable. Plus, we have our whole team here too, so that makes it better. If I was all virtual, then yeah, I'd probably just work from home and save the money. But for our practice, it's a lot of in-face, shaking hands, everything. So it's nice to have an office, and it helps give us credibility too. A lot of people like the brick and mortar, because not too many people in our space actually have that.
Yeah, I can remember when my kids were young, and you got little Roy is still in diapers, right? And so it's he's going to want your attention. He's going to take over the insurance agency in a few years and be supporting you in your retirement. So that's good. Way to go.
Yeah.
You know what? It's just been a fun time. I mean, let's see. Charlie's looking good, but he just melted in the space right there, and we're watching him. Charlie, how you doing, brother? All right. It's like the hearing aids aren't plugged in today, so let me just mute him out and say, hey, we tried. We really tried. Yeah, just some good stuff today. Some great comments. We had a lot of donors coming in, and we're going to do the randomly drawing here in a little bit. Roy, what's the biggest thing you learned in business over these years? How many years has it been since you started your business? I think at 19, you're what, 40 now?
Oh, well, no, I'm 36. I just turned 36.
You're a young pup. That's awesome. So what is that? I suck at math. So it's like 16 years in business?
Yeah, I mean, the insurance business I started back when I was 22.
Okay.
And so not quite that long. But before that, I had like little landscaping businesses, construction businesses. So I'm a terrible employee. I don't like people telling me, hey, you can't take this day off, or you can't go to the bathroom, or where are you going? I'm like, no, I'm going to go do what I want. So entrepreneurship's always been in my blood.
You and I are cut from the same cloth. I could never work for anybody else. I could never. Yeah. I've always been a pioneer, and I've always thought, I ran an ad in the newspaper when I was 15, and I got 14 lawn mowing jobs. And then I realized, hey, I'd save money for a lawnmower and a weed eater. Now I've got to hire a driver, and we lived out in the country. So I ended up selling that business to my brother, because the local funeral director said, I like his hustle. I'm going to hire him, And so fun stuff. So a lot of great comments, we're going to have Pastor Julie's going to pop in a little bit. She's one of the founding board members, and she's got an interesting career path. Pastor Julie started out in the corporate space and then went into ministry, and she's about to transition back into business, speaking at conferences around the world. And you'll love this, Pastor Ron. You meet her, because she loves ministering in India, Cambodia, anywhere in the 1040 window where it's dangerous. Last time she was in India, she almost got arrested doing a women's conference with 300 women, and they were about to cart her off to jail. So it's kind of a miracle that she didn't go to prison. And I said, hey, I know you love going to India. Why don't you come to Pakistan? You're not going to have to worry about being carted off to jail. Maybe have a gun or two pointed at you, but you're not going to go to jail. And I hoped I could make that promise a reality. Unfortunately, we did. Fingers crossed. We were praying, and she was okay with armed security guards. But her church has been a blessing to us. She's based out of Carlsbad, California, and she's one of the few executive women pastors in America. And I love it when women are sharing the pulpit and running the churches and doing things, because women seem to have this natural ability to nurture, and also to be good communicators, and also to be good leaders. So I think even though you didn't have a lot of women recorded in Scripture, there were enough women like Deborah and Nestor, and women that talked about in the epistles that God used to help start churches. And of course, Timothy, it talks about his mother and grandmother being very integral part of the ministry. So I've always appreciated that about Ron, about your organization, Ron, the Foursquare Church that I was ordained with as well, is they've always supported women and encouraged women, and always thrived when women were in leadership. So we're coming up to the top of the hour, and I've got a few guests that are texting me, and they've got the link they're trying to get on. I do want to hear from them, but I got to say, Roy, it's been a fun year. And one thing I was really excited about when I learned they're going to put my house up for sale and I can move, I don't have to have the overhead of the house I'm like, as much as I love Christmas trees, it's going to be nice. I'm not going to have to put up a Christmas tree this year. I'm just going to, why don't you ask me what I'm going to do, Roy?
I'm actually really curious. I was waiting for that because you're being secretive about the whole Florida thing. So what are you going to do?
I'm going to be homeless for a good while. I'm just going to, my business thrives, 1040 Impact and Beyond Publishing really thrive when I'm out with our people, with our authors. I'm out at events, either hosting my own events or supporting my authors at their events. And so, I've been to 30 countries supporting our authors. There's always things going on. I'm missing the Guadalajara book show, which is going on this week because I've got to get out of my house. And I hate it that I missed that. It's the world's second largest book show. But there's always events. There's things coming up. I'm going to go to the Miami book show, which is next week. I've got an event in Dallas. And then I've got some cruise points and some timeshare points. And I think, I do my best work on the beach. And this time of year, I do my best work in sunny sunshine. So,
yeah. You and me both. We love the sun, and right now it's like I can't wait for summer again. I'm not a cold person.
you moved from California to Texas. You missed the beach, and I love how you've got a Jackson Hole and a Destin, Florida strategy with the kids, because it also gives the kids, and I think a lot of parents miss out on this. They'll go to Six Flags or whatever, and those trips are fun. But I think getting your kids into nature, seeing the mountains, playing in the beach, those are some lessons there that you just can't trade that for anything.
Right. No, you can't. Yeah, it's totally worth it. Totally worth it.
All right. We're going to close it out. We got 2 minutes left. I'm going to end on this note. All right. Pastor Julie from Carlsbad, California, the Movement Church. Pastor Julie, thanks for being with us. You're part of the board at 1040 Impact. You went with us recently, a couple years ago, during the middle of the pandemic, where women aren't allowed to speak or be on stage. You were on stage. You were speaking. You had brought Michelle, your team member, with you. And it was just an epic time. Give us a little feedback on your impression and what you experienced there.
Oh, thank you so much, Michael. I love to talk about this. One of my favorite things. So hi to everybody.
You just missed Pastor John, by the way. Pastor John and Charlie were here today.
They were. Oh my gosh, I love it. Charlie, Dr. Doug, that was his code name there. Love that. Gosh, my impression of what is going on there. So yes, we just had the opportunity to spend, I don't even know, it was a couple weeks there, and moving from to a couple different communities, but just had the opportunity to kind of see the work that is being done there, the leaders that are being brought up there, the word that is going out, people that are being saved, people that are being rescued and helped. And we actually physically got to, sing with the children, and hundreds and hundreds of people showing up for these rallies that we would have. And Haley and I were there primarily to speak to the women. And we have a heart to see women, no matter what situation or culture they're living in, really begin to walk in the value that they have as daughters of God, and to find their voice and to really be released in their areas of influence, whether that be a small village in Pakistan, some of the kilns, the brick kiln communities, wherever that is, that they would be released into their God assigned influence, and working with the church leaders, because it is predominantly a culture that women are not really allowed to speak or lead or take part in things. And so being able to do that in ways that are culturally appropriate and culturally respectful, while still kind of watching God just work. But what I just can't wait to go back. I mean, it was such an incredible opportunity, and the doors of favor were open for the gospel. It was amazing, life-changing for me.
Well, it was definitely epic, and we're definitely going to have you back. We have some stories that we can share, and I got to tell you, they want us to come back, and it's all about the right timing. It's all about God's timing. Well, we're giving away a $15,000 coaching package today, or a raffle package today through Randomly. It includes a publishing package. Which by the way, Julie, you've published a book called Messed Up Beyond Publishing, and I know there's things about that story that are really messed up. So go check her out. We've got the Candy Bar Hugs woman with us here, Charla Anderson. She's launching her second book on her 70th birthday, which happens to be on Thursday. Charla, welcome to the show. Unmute and say hey to everybody. We're glad you're here.
Hey, everyone. It's great to be here. This is Charla Anderson, Fort Worth, Texas, and my book is launching this week on my 70th birthday. Split Second Transformation, Change Your Words, Change Your Life, 31 daily practices. And it should be available for pre-launch, I believe, in a day or two. Or for the
today. We approved it last night, so it normally takes about 12 hours. So be watching for it. I'll be watching for it. And I just want to say, guys, we appreciate you. We love you. You're all about family. And if you like stories around the campfire, if you love hanging around the campfire, if you just love sipping on hot cocoa and singing songs with the guitar and friends and roasting marshmallows, then RSVP now for something I'm starting. This is the very first one in December. It's called Thursday Night Live. So don't forget that URL. Just go to that URL right now, Thursday Night Live, and just know that you're making a difference at 1040 Impact today at givebutter.com/1040. Your gifts are tripled. Your gifts are tripled because of Beyond Publishing has really been blessed. And we said, how can we pay it forward? How can we give back? And, ever since we started 1040 Impact, the Lord has just really blessed Beyond Publishing. We have authors now in 46 nations, and it's been a huge blessing. So a big shout out to our partners, a big shout out to Roy for co-sponsoring the show and being my guest host, not just one, but he stuck around for 2 hours. So thanks for that very much. And one other final note as we wrap up here at the top of the hour. It is Tuesday. Beyond Publishing has outgrown San Antonio office, and we're going global on Thursday. So you be watching, coming soon to a city near you, coming soon to a country near you. This is where we belong. This is where we thrive. This is where we live, is on the road. Julie, you got to see me and Charlie and the team do our thing. And I got to say, you've traveled all over the world. Pastor Ron there has spoken in India, and you have as well. What excites you most about the future? There's a lot of problems in the world. The Hamas wars going on. There's a lot of turmoil, and some people might be anxious. What words of hope do you have to offer as a closing thought?
Yeah, I just think that the gospel goes forth human to human, and it is born and bred and spread through relationship. And so though I know that there's a lot going on in the political scene, our relationships with people in Pakistan, India, they just remain strong. And I am excited because no one can stop that work. No one can stop the human to human work. So you guys got to see or hear from Pastor John today. So yeah, I mean, the gospel's going forward, the church is growing, God's kingdom is expanding, and people are getting their stories out. And I got my story out. You guys are getting your stories out. They're getting their stories out. So,
well, that's what matters. That's what matters.
Yeah, we're going
to continue to get your stories out. We're going to go randomly here. You're looking at the folks that have donated in the last hour. We've been watching the Give Butter. We're going to hit our $10,000 goal this week. We're going to give our kids a great Christmas. When you get sold into slavery from Afghanistan, when the U.S. pulls out of Afghanistan, your parents are so desperate they sell you into slavery, and you get fortunate enough to be swallowed by a whale, or in this case, rescued by Pastor John, and the medical care, the education, the love, the support of a loving family. You were there, and here's what it looked like. spin because we're past the top of the hour. The winner of the package, $15,000 value. Congratulations, Ron Isom. You're the winner. Applause. Yay. We'll be reaching out to you very much. Glad you're here today. We're going to close it out.
Pastor Julie, executive pastor of Movement Church in San Marcos, and I just want to tell you about an amazing experience I had last year traveling to Asia with 1040 Impact. Now, the job that they're doing in Asia is they're doing so many different things. They're planting churches, they're taking care of people, they're rescuing children and women out of horrendous situations. But here's the thing that really impacted me. They're not just in the business of rescuing, they're in the business of restoring. And time, I get to tell a million stories of kids and young women who have been rescued out of these situations, but then more importantly, they're made safe, they're being cared for, and then there's a resurrection of the dreams that have been in their heart since the time that they were young. 1040 Impact is in the business of expanding God's kingdom. They're rescuing people, they're restoring dreams, they're restoring people to their God-inspired destinies. I cannot recommend them enough. So right now, there's 60 more kids coming in that they want to be able to take care of. They're already taking care of over 180 children. So they're doing an incredible work. So pray about partnering with them. This is definitely a work we want to invest in. So I want to encourage you, partner with 1040 Impact, and let's continue restoring dreams.
That was a while ago, because you said 180 kids, we're now at 394 kids, and wow, we're going to close out with this one. Well, we're so excited. We're finally moving into our new school/safe house in Sahiwal, Pakistan, and it's all because of your generous 7 years. And you know what? For giving, consider making a donation. There's a new location. We just purchased this in February. This building. We modeled it. It's July. Before. This is the after. 4 classrooms and 4 living quarters for 125 kids. All right. And closing it out. And one final word. We heard from Charlie for a minute.
Getting them safe. So please do your part. See if you can help. Happy birthday, Mike. We're honored to be there with you, to help the workers you've had. You got staff that have been there for 10 years doing a great work. It's a solid work, and we appreciate you. Happy birthday.
This is Daniel Gomez Inspires, and I just want to tell you about my trip to Pakistan with Michael D. Butler and 1040 Impact. If you're looking for a nonprofit to really support and make a difference in saving young women, supporting just people who need support right now, Michael D. Butler and 1040 Impact, top-notch nonprofit. I'm proud to be a part of it. The trip that I took with them and see exactly how they go out there and they put themselves in the trenches and help people, it's amazing. So if we need a nonprofit to support, Michael D. Butler and 1040 Impact. I highly recommend you donate and support them.
Changing lives in New York and NASDAQ and beyond. Michael D. Butler, global book publisher. We're ending human trafficking at 1040impact.org. Thanks for being with us on this Giving Tuesday. We're going to hit our goal this week, and I love that, Charles. I got to work on mine. I'm not. My grandson's going to teach me. I'm not sure. I'm not ambidextrous. But speaking of grandkids, congratulations, Pastor Julie. How many grandkids you got in your quiver now? Wow.
Number 8 and number 9 just arrived 3 days apart, 2 weeks ago. And my oldest is 5. So
awesome. Keep the baby pictures coming. And that's awesome and epic. And I'll be in touch with you about Pakistan. And Ron, I think we just go hit India and Pakistan together. Charla, thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for being here. You've been watching the Michael D. Show, where every Tuesday morning we talk about faith, family, business, and culture right here at 10 a.m. And starting next month, we're going to try a little something different. Try this a little fireside chat right there at Thursday Night Live. Hey, we're going to come hang out with marshmallows, story time, and a bonfire right here online at Thursday Night Live. That's where I'm going to be hanging out. And I want you to join us. Come share your story, because we're not going to be in any hurry. We may go 4 hours, who knows? And we'll have people from around the globe. No agenda. And I'm going to be in a different location every time. So the first one's December 28th, but go ahead and RSVP now so you get the reminder. And I don't know, I might be coming to you from Dubai. I might be coming to you from Malawi. I might be coming to you from Madagascar, or the northern Ganges of Nepal, one of Julie's favorite places, or even Cambodia. God bless you all. Have a great day. Thanks for supporting 1040 Impact. Congratulations, Ron Isom. Pastor Ron, meet Pastor Julie. I need to gift you these books called Reign of Grace, and then we're doing his new book about loving yourself. This will be very powerful. And I think Ron and I will just come to the Movement Church. I'll give a presentation on 1040 Impact, and Ron can give a presentation on loving yourself and how that changes your life. And then he and I can go hang out on the beach in San Diego, and we'll hang out with you and Mike, and go see some of your grandkids. So it'll be good to see you again. God bless. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all you do. Have a great Christmas, friends, and happy Giving Tuesday.
Thank you, Michael. Take care, everyone.
Congratulations. Happy birthday, Charla, on your birthday Thursday, 70, launching your book on your 70th birthday in Fort Worth, Texas, Cowtown, USA. Love it.